Hello, ladies.
Hi, Auntie.
Hey, aunties, what's up?
Welcome to episode 8 of Auntie Listen. And we are going to start with our quote. Every task, goal, race, and year comes to an end. Therefore, make it a habit to finish strong. And that is a quote by Gary Ryan Blair. What did you guys think of the quote?
Definitely valid.
Yeah, I like it. It's a strong quote for it, and it's much needed in these days and times. Things seem so daunting and difficult and extra, right? So we need
Yes,
something to tell us to go.
exactly.
Go.
And I was looking for something that would be fitting for the last month of the year.
Including it
So
being the last month, I'm thinking too how, wait, which I think the trend that I've seen is that we don't wait until New Year's for those resolutions. A lot of people are saying they'll start today.
Yep,
And that again
yeah,
is the go. Yeah.
yes,
I'm one. I started my transitions when I saw how close we were to the end of the year, and I was like, nope, I'm gonna get on the ball right now.
yeah. And I don't do resolutions. I haven't done resolutions in I don't know how long. I do goals. So I sat down recently and just thought about my goals for 2024.
Okay.
I'm going to turn it over to Auntie Janisha for announcements.
All right. We are still inviting listeners to submit your stories to auntielisten@gmail.com, or you may record them at podinbox, that's podinbox.com/auntie listen. That story, anything that you want to share that we can maybe help you with or not help you with, you just need a sounding board, put it out there in the ethers and see what comes back, right? But 3 subjects in particular, 3 questions that we have, and you can leave them on the same spaces, auntielisten@gmail.com or pod inbox, and that's actually voice recorded, podinbox.com/auntie listen. And those questions are: what is something that you are afraid to tell your parents or parents? And the subject line, parent. And then the next one is for our men. What is more important, inner or outer beauty? The subject line for that one is beauty. And then one for women specifically, what are you bringing to the table? Don't be afraid of that, ladies. Let us know. And the subject line for that one is table. You can also, this is for everybody, subscriptions. We are at the point that we are ready to take subscriptions, and that will be at gumroad.com, and it's just $4 for you get early content, and then we have some other things that are going to be coming along with that early content. For now, just $4 to support this show, Auntie Listen. You can subscribe at gumroad.com. And by the way, we are on YouTube. We are now on YouTube. You can follow us on most social media platforms, Media X and Instagram included. All right? All right. Did I miss anything?
Nope, that was it. Perfect. Thank
Okay.
you for the announcements. Now we're going to move into our celebrations. December 1st is World AIDS Day. December 2nd is International Day for the aboli- abolishment of slavery. December 3rd, Advent begins. December 6th, 1917, Finland's independence day from Russia. December 7th, 164 BCE, Hanukkah begins. December 7th, 1941, Pearl Harbor Remembrance. December 10th, 1948, Human Rights Day. December 15th, 1791, Bill of Rights Day. December 15th, 165 BCE, Hanukkah ends. December 21st, winter solstice. December 25th, Christmas. December 26th, Boxing Day. December 26th, 1965, Kwanzaa starts. December 31st, 1907, New Year's Eve. So I know that you guys grew up Jehovah Witness and you guys didn't celebrate Christmas, but like for Thanksgiving, you guys went fishing. Did you guys do anything around the Christmas holiday?
Fishing.
Fishing?
Everything was celebrated doing fishing. We were always on a fish. Like it just all kind of ran together because it was. They just fished. They enjoyed fishing, and I enjoyed snacks, so I didn't mind being there.
Oh, okay. So we always put our Christmas tree up the day after Thanksgiving. And then we always took it down the day after my birthday because I always wanted to have the Christmas tree for my birthday.
Hmm.
But that's, pretty much what we did. I mean, well, the other thing too, because it was just me, I would open my presents at midnight. I would be like, it's Christmas. Can we open presents? And then it's like, sure. So we would open all our presents at midnight. And so when everyone else was up and opening their presents, I was still in bed asleep because I had opened my presents already. And then when I wake up, Nana would we make pancakes and sausage and we'd have breakfast and just watch westerns all day or Christmas shows or whatever. But that was pretty much my Christmas celebration. I thought that since it was the last day of the month, December has always been a month of reflection for me. So I thought that instead of writing a show, that we could just take a look back over 2023 and talk about our highs and our lows. Who would like to go first?
Auntie Mar-
Nobody? Auntie
I,
Mama, you want to go first? You want to talk about your highs and lows of 2023?
2023 was a learning year for me. Highs. I have gained a lot for 2023. My highs that I have gained include I am slow to speak now. I do a lot more listening, and I listen to actually listen, not just I listen to hear. Like I'm really trying to take in what's being said and to really try to understand what and why that person is saying what they're saying. And the reason why that happened was because I think I shared with Auntie Janisha the other day so I took a class and it was a 6-month course. And that course forced me to go within and dig deep and learn more about me, right? In the process of that class, I shared with Auntie Janisha that I learned that, and I kind of knew this, but I think prior to me knowing this, I just didn't take it into consideration or, for lack of better words, didn't care. And that's harshly said, but it's still the truth because I do care about a lot of things, but I didn't do anything about it, so obviously I didn't care, right? But I learned that my face talk and my face will display some unpleasant things when somebody is talking to me. And that's not fair, right? Because when I'm talking to somebody, I don't want nobody looking at me like, you know what I mean? So I started with what is it called? The resting face or whatever. So, but that course allowed me to go within and dig deep and really check myself, you know. And because of that, it has continued. Even though the class is over, I have graduated from the class, I'm still in that place. And what it caused me to do was also to start looking around me and my environment, my atmosphere, and cleaning those things out. So I've been cleaning my mind, cleaning my body, cleaning my house, just cleaning everything, cleaning at work. I've just been doing a lot of cleaning. So that's good stuff. I would say those are highs. The lows, none of our listeners know that my husband and I are separated, and that has been pulling on me a lot. I started to realize that I do not like being separated. I do not like where we are right now, and I don't know what to do about it at this point. So that pretty much sums up where I am mentally as far as my personal relationship. And that has caused me to just continue to keep focusing on work. So work has increased because I am just trying to occupy my time to keep from dealing with that. So that is the biggest low. But outside of that, like I said, production has went up, so I have been active and I've accomplished several tasks with clients and companies, and I'm happy about that. So
Now, the separation, is it because of the different countries that you're
ooh,
in, or is it a combination of this being in different countries and not being on the same page?
physical separation, culture clash, he and my stubbornness combined because I'm not innocent there. Yeah, a combination of it all. Just it's hard. Long distance relationships are not easy. It is not for the meek or the mild or the weak. And when I tell you, it is very trying. So it's a combination of a lot. His understanding with how he was raised and my understanding with how I was raised has plays a lot into it. Um, Figuring out who's going to back down and allow the other person to just say, okay, we're going to this is the truce. This is where I draw a truce, and even the opposite of that. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Okay. Auntie Janisha?
A lot has happened this year. The top of the year, as you, Auntie D, and I have the same born day, being January the 7th. That's like
Mm-hmm.
it started right away. I had a surprise 50th birthday party, which truly was a surprise. And it was amazing. I really thought I was going to somebody else's shindig. I was so sneaky of my people. Um, and it really showed me who my people were, as if I didn't already know. It was the usual suspects, but still, you know what? It just meant so much. So that was the starter. And then I went back to school this year, and I realized so many things have changed. Like I never had a fear of going, but once I got in, I was like even like writing an APA format, and I keep getting points taken off, and I'm a pretty decent writer, but I'm like, what is the issue? And I find that some of the things that I'm using is archaic now. Who would have thought that? So I'm learning a lot, and that's just it's continued because I don't finish until the spring of next year, which I had no idea that I was even that close to having a degree, right? So that was a joy. I don't have to be doing this that long,
Well, hey,
right? And then on down to the springtime, the person that encouraged me to go back to school in the first place was a gentleman that I was. If you've been listening to this show, I say dating, not dating, because he was adamant about not being in a relationship. but we were totally in one, but wouldn't claim that it was because of him. And I would never let anyone put me in that position, except that he treated me awesomely. I stayed for that reason. But it just started pulling on me to not stay in that space because I don't deny myself of relationships. You know, people talk about the give it time and all that stuff. I move with how my energy feels. And with that being said, when I'm in a relationship, it's that one person, right? So the spirit just kept saying, you know, you're not gonna be able to allow what you really want, which is a relationship. If you stay in this thing, even though he's treating you like gold. And ladies, when I tell you this man treated me better than anyone in my entire dating career, and we were not even quote unquote dating, that was a big decision to make to walk away. So I ended up walking away in June, July-ish, and it was hard. It was hard, but it felt good at the end of the day. And of course, you do the double dutch thing back and forth mentally and emotionally after the fact, but I knew that I had to let it go. So then I started getting readings saying that he was coming. Not, well, I didn't know it was not him or it was him, but I kept hoping that he would say, you know, call me up and be like, you know what? Because we had such a great run, I was mistaken. I really do want a relationship. I miss what we had, all the stuff. And every single reading was saying he's coming and giving all of the descriptions. And some of them, many of them didn't match him. But of course, me being hopeful, because that was the familiar thing that I knew most recently and wanted, right? Because if he had called me up and said those things, I would have totally jumped at it. Because that was the only thing that was missing. I promise you that was the only thing that was missing. But he was standing on his word that, nope, I don't want to be in a relationship. And I didn't press at all. I just accepted the good treatment. So it was fine. So what ended up happening in October is the person that one of the people that I least wanted to hear from at all contacted me. And every single reading that I had and every single description matched this person. And when I tell you, and some of y'all gonna find it blasphemous, I curse spirit. I said, keep that gift. I do not want it, because another thing that was said was that they totally changed. And if you allow it, you will be surprised. You will be so happy for the rest of your life, not just for a time. But it was everything that I wanted in this person. I cursed. I don't want nothing to do with that. Not because of the way it ended, it's because of the way that it was. It did not matter that whoever, whatever itself was saying that this was the gift, right? And was saying all the stuff. This individual was saying all the stuff. I listened to him out, let him get it, okay, all right, okay. And that was that. But when I got off that phone and the weeks that followed, I was so angry and I fell into it was depression. And it was my second wave of depression. And that was another thing too. I actually was coming out of a depression right around the time that I broke up with the previous guy, right? Because a lot of things happened last year. And it was just horrible, very horrible year. Over the course of me breaking up, also skipping back to currently, breaking up with the one guy that was really good. And between that time and when the other one contacted me, I got fired from my job. And that was a big blow, super low, super low. Now I don't have the supportive relationship and I'm missing the bulk of my employment. Mind you, 2 years ago, when I came back to my hometown, I was not supposed to be working for anybody. That was not in the plan. So I totally left myself vulnerable to an employer. And it's not beneath me because I'm a Auntie, I heard you say before about being a bad employee but a good worker. I am
Mhm.
a great employee. I am a great employee. It's just that most of my career life I've worked for myself. But we were taught to do a good job. And I don't know why I was fired. I really don't. But it opened me up to remembering why I came back, and it showed me all of the things that I had neglected because I was given so much to these folks' job. So my creative juices have started flowing again, and I came to realize or believe that the individual that came to me wanting a second chance and saying all the right stuff and looking right and all the stuff, I do believe that was a test. And maybe I was supposed to just let them get that off so they could move forward. Because he did stop calling. I was never rude or mean. I told him how I felt, obviously. But, well, not obviously, but I did. I did choose to tell him how I felt, how he made me feel back then, how just all the stuff without like smeared it in his face, but we had real conversations as grown adults, right? But I believe now that that was just a test because I have come to understand much of my past that I've settled. I've settled a lot. And I just said, you know what, forget it. If I have to be by myself, that was the gift. That was my one chance at it. I'm good. And I was good. I was honestly, truly good. No more depression, no more nothing. Seeing what I had been, like I said, neglecting as far as the property that I came back to maintain and projects that I had started or had not started, but they were still on my little list, on my long list. And then an individual that also matched everything that my readings had said contacted me. Somebody I never would have imagined. Because in the back of my mind, that person that I rejected, it was in the back of my mind that it was them. The person that actually showed up that I have accepted, who's in my life right now, I had not thought about. I hadn't thought about. And we're doing fine. I'm engaged. It's we will be married next year, and it seems sudden, but what I appreciate is not sudden just because we have a history, and it didn't end. There are certain things about our ending that don't cause me to ne- reject it, such as other things. I don't know if you understand what I mean.
I
Like
do.
some people say that they will never go back. They never go back. They always move forward, forget anybody in their past, stuff like that. But I've not gotten horrible treatment from everybody that I've allowed into my life. And that's not to say that I would go back to each of those people, but this one individual, there are so many things that cause me to be where I am, do what I'm doing, and but the number one reason why I chose to even hear him out on a let's start again is because he came back and he said that he came back for me because after he had thought about it, that television movie stuff that I never
Mhm.
really heard in real life came from this gentleman. And he said these words, you don't have to do, because I said, what do you want me to do? Because now, mind you, I am with the one job that was not my primary job. I said, I can't, we live in two different places. What do you want me to do? Because I can't do this, that, and the third. You don't have to worry about anything. I got it, is what he said. And he said, as a matter of fact, you don't have to do anything about anything because I came back for you because of who you showed me that you were before I messed up. I messed up. And I just want to show you. And if what you're seeing you don't like, because you don't know the man that I'm standing up to be. And I don't even know, just like you don't know that you will even like me. So it's almost like I'm dating a new person with all of the old stuff that I like and fell in love with back then. I'm okay. I won't say fell in love because I was not in love with them, but I see it now, like what that really feels like. I'm sorry to go on and on, but
Nope,
I
you're
just
fine.
It's
wrapping
juicy,
it up.
girl.
I'm in a different space, and we have all the same stuff going on. Like y'all know me to be like this farmer type, tiny house, all that stuff. He's into all the same stuff. The trucking, the building your own, this, that, and the third. He forages in the woods. Uh, just all of it is me, but in a man, you know?
Yeah.
And he knows all the stuff that I want to learn. The bows and arrows, everything is right there. Like, why wouldn't I? And it just feels good. It feels good to have somebody say, you don't have to. And I'm not lazy by any stretch of the imagination as far as relationships are concerned, but for somebody to say, you don't have to do anything, let me show you who I am. And it's not been that long. We're about 2 months in. Yeah, about 2 months in now. So it's not been that long, I admit, but it's been the same consistency. We sleep on the phone. Like, yeah, and that's something we used to do back then anyway. Like,
So he became your person.
he's definitely, I think he is me, but a stronger me, a male. And he checks me too.
Cause you
I
need it.
Shut
Oh, I'm
your
sorry.
mouth. Cause I didn't realize too how emotional I get. He's just he's like just on top of it. And he'll let me get out and then he'll like help me through it. And that, just somebody that even cares to listen, cares to try to understand and stick it out. And then are you done? Now what do you want to do about it? That is me. But I didn't realize how I do that. And maybe I become that person that I expect other people to rise up out of because I'm in front of somebody that is stronger than me and I know I can lay it on them. I'm still thinking about that part. Does that make sense what I just said?
Yes.
Because I'm still trying to analyze that part. I didn't realize how whiny I can get. Marva, don't look like that.
I ain't said nothing.
I know. I was looking at Auntie Marva's face.
All I'm saying is hallelujah.
The look on her face.
Well, y'all have help now. How's
Yeah. No, that's good. That's cool. I'm happy that you found your person. And you know me. As long as you're happy, I'm happy for you. The minute you become unhappy, then I become unhappy and then I'm ready to go to prison. So so I guess it's my turn now. So I'm gonna start with my low. My low actually started in 2022 and it just kind of carried over. So like around October of 2022 is when my world fell apart for me. Many of you know, or you may not know that I became disabled. I have arthritis in my knees really, really bad. And in October, I couldn't walk without holding on to something. So I ended up getting a walker and I was still going out and doing appointments. But by December, I had to close my business because it literally it hurt to walk, it hurt to drive. And I'm one of those type of people that if I'm not working, I become extremely depressed. I was already in therapy, which was a good thing, because I was standing on the cliff trying to figure out what my next move was going to be. But when I'm in a depressive state, it's really hard for me to find a way out of that. So being in therapy helped because being in therapy kept me on the cliff, kept me from jumping off the cliff, but it wasn't enough to get me to walk away from the cliff. It wasn't until we started the podcast that I was able to walk away from the cliff. So the podcast literally saved my life, starting this podcast and getting to hang out with my beautiful nieces more and getting to laugh more. And so ever since we started the podcast, my thoughts have been clear. And so I'll be launching a new business next year. So I'm excited about that. It's a travel business. I've always wanted to be a travel agent, but it was just never, I don't know, it just never worked out. And, and it was always, well, you pay me X amount of dollars and I'll show you what I do. But that just didn't seem, I don't know, it didn't set well with me. So it just wasn't time for that. So I'm excited that I get to start a new travel business next year. I'm excited about that. Yeah, I'm just really, really hopeful for 2024. So those were my highs and my lows. So thank you guys for giving me the push to do the podcast because you guys know my anxiety was really high and I was fighting it all the way. But I'm just thankful that you guys love me enough to go on this crazy adventure with me. So speaking of the podcast and looking back, I mean, I know we've only done seven episodes, but of those 7 episodes that we have done, which topic was your favorite and which was your least? Auntie Marva.
I am guilty of missing a lot of the podcasts because I travel with work. I want to say, and it wasn't one, but it was just a thing that was happening at the time, like a collective thing. And I'm saying this to say the other thing. You know how at the beginning of things, when you're starting something, you start it because everybody say that's the hardest part.
Mm-hmm.
So you start said thing, but then you still have this turnover of events that happen until you finally fall into your groove.
Yes.
What I did not like was, and I know typically some people like it because it could bring ratings or whatever, but I felt like in the beginning there was a lot of head bumping, like a lot, and that used to get on my nerves. And it's just because in my head I know we all have an opportunity to talk, we can speak, and so I'm not highlighting one in particular show or topic. I'm just highlighting something that used to occur, and it would. I don't know if you would remember, Auntie, during editing, most of the time I'd be like this because I'd be annoyed.
Yes.
I'd be annoyed because I'm just like, can't we just agree to disagree or understand everybody's individual thought process and just like, okay, it's cool, it's worked. It was just like, although that says a lot about us and who we are and how we communicate with each other. But the high about that, or the good, is that eventually that turnover started to actually turn over, and it turned into less of fighting to be heard and into more of listening
Yes.
to understand.
Yes.
And I'm glad that, because I like, you could see the trend where it was starting to mesh together like a nice, perfect peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Poochies.
With raisins on the side.
Hell no.
So that's us. You did the raisins for us.
Yes. We don't like the raisins, but remember in the first show, she talked about how you don't like raisins, but you made them peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and you would put raisins in a smiley face.
Yep.
I remember.
That was for us.
Yeah, that you did for them. It was our very first episode when we were talking about what maternal person, about our maternal figures, and you were theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember what she said.
So that's what I said. Poochie's peanut butter and jelly sandwich for us, not
Yes,
for her.
Okay,
yes.
my bad. That was a selfish moment because I was thinking about for me, my
Nope.
sandwich. How nobody
No,
better do that.
no. What you did for them.
The one that she would make for us.
Yes. Mm. I
And
remember
then,
it because I thought it was cute.
yep. And that's something I know me and Michelle, we never forgot that. Like, we never forgot that. So, yeah. And then like I said, the best part that I remember, or that I appreciate, is when, or the fact that, and I'm still selfish thinking, is the fact that a lot of the times that I could not be there, it was because of work. But y'all was always so patient with me and understanding with it, because I wanted to be there and I wanted to do more. But I don't know, it's just like my job just became so demanding all of a sudden, just out of the blue. And I knew that I would be doing some travel. I didn't know to what extent. And it actually took me around the country for majority of the year. But y'all was still like, it's okay. We're gonna hold it down. We got it. We got you. It's okay. So thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you so very much for the understanding. Because anybody else, trust me, I've worked with other people in podcasts, and they were like, you not a part of it. You've been absent. We just gonna cut you out.
No, I
Because
would
I've
not
not
do that to
me per
you.
se, but I've seen this happen.
Yes.
I've seen
Yes.
this happen. And I just used to be, I in my head I used to be like, dang, we just gonna cut the people out like that. Like, maybe it's a life altering situation and they only missed one episode. But considering the amount of episodes that I've had to miss, and y'all just be like, it's all right, we know what you're doing, we know what you out there, we know what's going on. So thank y'all. And I appreciate
Yeah.
that very,
Yeah, like I said, if you can make it, just come. If you can't, it's fine. That's why we have two other co-hosts. So yeah, that's why I'm not doing this by myself.
I
So
like the fact that you highlighted, like, where doing this podcast has brought you mentally. And in the beginning, I used to be like, I'm just helping, I just want to help. But then as you were talking, I realized, wow, us helping had nothing to do with us at all. At all. Like, and it was actually subconsciously, I kind of knew, like, my involvement was not per se 100% for my own, self gain, or to put some information out there or whatever. Subconsciously, I knew my involvement was to assist you. So you saying what you said, as far as this pretty much gave you another purpose talking you away from that ledge. That's good. I like that. I'm grateful that you said that, because it was in this moment here today that I'm like, yeah, this we were supposed to be doing this for you, not for me, but for you.
Yes. With that said, though, I want you guys to get out of the mindset that it is my podcast.
I know
It
you
is
say that a lot.
my podcast. It is our podcast.
Our podcast.
Yes. I mean, I know I do a majority of this stuff, but it is still our
The work. Say
podcast.
it until you do the majority of the work. It's work.
It is work, but
It is.
it's gratifying and it's satisfying, and I love doing it. I'm a research girl, so I love doing the research. Yeah.
And you learned a lot, because in the beginning you didn't know and you were asking, and but you didn't stop. You just, once you started, you just kept going, and you have come a long way.
Thank
And
you.
that's really my highlight, is the fact that I don't have to do a thing. Honestly, Auntie, and every time I think about it, it is your show. It's a show that I'm on with my sisters, with my auntie. It's my auntie's show, and that is really how it started. You wanted to do a show, and I said, "All right, suppose somebody do it with you." That's how the idea came about. And then I started calling everybody. All right, let's do a show, auntie. Right? That's how it came to be. It is your show, and we're all thankful to you for offering it to be our show. We know it's all of our show, but it is really your show. This is
Yeah,
your baby.
it's something that came out as a joke because I didn't even know what a podcast was. We were talking about a book that I wanted to write, and it
Mhm.
wasn't long enough to be a book, and and I didn't know how to do a blog, and then I just saw a thing flash on YouTube about podcasts. I didn't even know what a podcast was. It was just a joke from something I saw on YouTube. And then next thing I know, 8 months later, we're doing a
Right.
podcast. I was just like, okay.
Exactly.
So, Auntie Janisha.
Well, I was also annoyed, even though I was a part of what was annoying me. Just the going back and forth, because I'm one person that don't like a thing if it's not true for me. If I don't feel, I don't feel ego. I can't let it rest. You will not get the last word, because we can't just park it right there. But it has gotten softer, which I appreciate, because that part of me, being a part of that, what Auntie Marvel was talking about, I every one of those, it stings, especially go back to listen to it. It's like, oh my gosh, you know. But it's gotten softer, it's gotten better, and that's something that I've been learning too about myself, as far as not having to be heard. There's this big thing about having to be heard, but for me, why is it necessary? Pick and choose the moment. Every moment is not necessary. And I think I do pretty good about not saying everything that's on my mind, but I was reminded yesterday, you could see it on your face, which I know that. So that's the next thing I got to work on. So it's kind of good that everybody can't see us here. just They can just hear, but we can see each other, and so the facial expressions is funny. But I just the evolution. That's the word
Yes.
of where we've come in 8 months. That's just been good. It's been good, and I'm looking forward to where the show is gonna move to, because I know it's gonna get better. We're all just starting out. I mean, I was on a radio show before, but that was at I won't say the dawn of internet, but it was certainly not where we are now. This was the around 2006 to 2013, and a lot has happened since then.
Right.
So, yeah, it was a radio show anyway. Totally different. Totally different. You know, we were nonprofit, so there's things you could not say, had to say, whatever. And here it's just a lot different. And I'm looking forward to the moment that we are so big that something becomes viral and controversial. I'm ready. Probably not ready. Probably not ready, but I'm ready.
What is that saying? Be careful what you wish for.
That means we'll have to survive. Because if you're not flustering, looking at the world around us, to be quite honest, if we're not flustering a lot of this foolishness, then we are either them or we just too soft.
Right. But
That's
don't
really.
you but don't you feel that we have had some very controversial topics?
I do. Like when we've gotten into the polygamy, the how other people deal with their children. Yeah, yeah. Especially how folks are letting their children walk around dressing. Yep, I do.
Okay.
But as far as
The
numbers,
transgender, yeah.
when we get there and have that much more exposure, so that people, because that's really what happens a lot of times when things go viral. It's not the stuff they're doing now. It's something somebody dug up. So it'll probably be the stuff that we've already done,
Yeah.
be dragged out there. This is what they stand on, even if we're not there anymore.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Like Po Boosie. Boosie getting dragged right now because of all of his comments about the gay community, gay,
Hmm.
lesbian, out the letters community.
Oh, I don't know
And
who
I
that
don't
is.
think he fully regrets the things that he said. I think he regrets how he said it.
Hmm.
Well, you guys know I don't do or say anything that and then regret it later. So, I mean, I stand by what I say. Is it is your perception of what I said that is your and then that's your issue. It's not my issue. It's your issue. So, but I think for me, it was anything that we talked on that I could start trouble.
Hmm.
I just I just like to stir up trouble because that's just what I do. And the other thing that I really love was when I incorporated the journey to self love. That was very important for me to get out there. So, have you guys thought about your goals for 2024? They can't see you shaking your head,
Oh.
Auntie Mitra.
Yes, I have.
She's shaking her head.
Yes, I have. I actually, as I said before, I started a couple of months ago. I have a lot of goals. And I think I started adding this to my goals list because in my head, if I run out of goals, it'll be my time to die and I ain't ready to die yet. So I had a whole bunch of stuff on my list. So
Oh,
I said that to say my main goal is my physical health. I have a doctor's appointment. I started setting up all my doctor's appointments and going to my doctors and stuff at the beginning of the year. And I have kicked it into high fashion over these last couple of months. I have a doctor's appointment December 12th. That is a checkup for my breast. Auntie, I don't know if I shared this with you before, but I shared it with Auntie Michelle and Auntie Janisha. And with my sisters and my mom previously that they found a little lump there. And I immediately started my natural stuff. So I found an herb and I started drinking that herb. And then I just increased on the different herbs to add to my body. I added the initial herb was violet leaf tea, not to be mistaken with the violet flower. Violet leaf is completely separate, completely different. Violet leaf tea does not have any flowers on it. and it is designed. It specifically targets the breast tissue to heal breast tissue and remove anything foreign to the breast tissue that doesn't belong. So I started drinking that several months back. And then I started adding just other herbs that we already knew about, like mullein tea. I just drank some more mullein tea this morning just because I have the worst sinuses on this side of the equator. And it breaks up, mullein tea breaks up and pushes out mucus. So I drink that every morning and every evening on an empty stomach. I believe I have dissolved the thing. I think because I can't feel it no more. But I will have an answer for y'all December 12th after my doctor's appointment. I thought about something Poochie told, Auntie Janisha told me a long time ago. One time when she got her ears cleaned. And I noticed when I'm talking to people, I say, huh? I say that a lot. So I'm thinking, maybe you just need your ears cleaned. I ordered these little kits. I stopped using Q-tips and all these little kits that has these little things in there. So I don't use Q-tips anymore. But it comes with there's a bunch of these. So I clean my ears with these. No, this has not been in my ear. It's like a little tiny spoon thing.
Oh, okay.
It's very, very small, if you can see.
Yes, it's
very
tiny.
Because Q-tips ultimately push stuff back into the ear. This will help you be able to pull it out.
Okay.
At that doctor's appointment, I'm going to add a request for a referral to get my ears professionally cleaned because I think maybe that will help with the huh. So I'm my eyes. I have a dentist appointment to follow up to get my teeth fixed because I will no longer have the Halloween smile.
She said Halloween smile, your little gap. Yeah.
Those will be gone. I have before December is out. I'm waiting on my blender. Just got here today. I ordered a new Ninja blender and using it, I will do a 3-day. I'm starting a 3-day detox, which is just juicing and to remove. And during that process, I won't be wearing like deodorants. I won't be leaving the house and stuff either. But I won't be wearing deodorants and lotions for those during that process. And I can do that because I only work on campus 2 days out of the week, so I can get away with it. But I won't be wearing deodorants. I won't be wearing lotions. I won't be wearing perfumes. And I'm gonna do a 3-day liquid detox. And I've shared it. I don't know if I shared it with y'all yet, but I'm gonna share it with y'all in the family group thing.
Okay.
Immediately after that, I'm going into a 7-day fast of just alkaline water. And the only other thing I'll do outside of the alkaline water with the 7-day fast is a cup of coconut water, real natural coconut water, so that I can have electrolytes every other day. And then on the opposite of those days would be colostrum water. And that's just to keep my energy up and to keep, to be able to withstand it, to get through. And the reason I'm doing that is because I did it several years ago. It was almost like 9-10 years ago. And when I did it, that was the best I ever felt. That was the clearest my skin has ever been. It was hard. It was and chlorophyll in the water too. Every other chlorophyll water. I think I shared that with you, Auntie Jenny. Okay. But that was the best that I ever felt. That was the most energy I've ever had that I could remember since being an adult ever. And and for vanity, my skin was very, very clear and pretty.
You said for vanity.
For vanity purposes, my skin never looked better. So, so I'm doing all of that. And I have started, like I said, I started that. And then once I am on the other side of the detoxes and the fast and the doctor's appointments and all that, I have already did my initial meetup with a trainer, a physical trainer. She's putting together a program for me so that I could work on my weight. Because all I do, remember, I told y'all before, I walk 1 hour in the morning.
Yeah.
The only thing that has been doing is just sustaining me from gaining more weight. I want to be able to decrease and get better. So, and I feel like all of these detoxing and cleansing and all that good stuff, I'm wanting it to be a life change so that I can get on the right path and stay on that path, but also to help with the weight loss and I lose it properly.
Right.
So yeah, so those were some of my goals that I've already started on because I didn't want to wait for the new year. I got my blender today. It's over there on the counter. And then work wise, I've been manifesting work like crazy. I was telling God, I didn't even tell God. It was just a thought. I was like, dang, I'm going to have to put somebody in this other room. I have my roommate that was staying with me at the other house, at the old apartment. She lives here now. She's getting ready to graduate. So and she's looking to relocate. So I was thinking, man, I need somebody in this room. I don't really want to pay that portion of rent. I need somebody in that room. And the next day, less than 24 hours, I got a call from a friend who was my band member. He was a band. I used to be in a band 1,000 years ago, well over 10 years ago. And he was like, he is a Full Sail student. He's retired from work and he's going to Full Sail just because he got bored. And he was like, hey, I need a place to stay. And I was like, until I graduate. And I was like, I got a place where you can live. And he needs it after the new year in January, which is around the same time that she graduates. So I'm like, God, look at you, all in my head. Then I've been getting calls. I was like, dang, I need an extra income because I want to continue working on my credit. I've been working on my credit, clearing it out. You know, we can only run from those letters and them debts for so long. So I was like, I
Right.
need more income. I want to be able to do more as I'm clearing this debt out. And that same day that I got the call from my friend, I got a call from a colleague and he was like, I need your assistance with working at my venue and doing some projects. And I'm going to pay you this much, blah, blah, blah. To think about it, figure out how we can do this schedule to work around your schedule, to work around my work schedule, and we'll come to agreement. And I was like, God, you is nosy. I like it though. Usually I'll be like, God, I need your help, blah, 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 blah. But I didn't even say that. I was just like, I need to figure such and such and such. I wonder how I'm going to do this. Man. But I was on go as I was saying this. And then usually I would go back and be like, all right, God, let me write this out. God, this is what I need. And I didn't even get to do none of that. And he just already just like, oh, that's what you need? Okay, boom. I was like, what? So, yeah.
He is good.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
What they say, ask and you shall receive.
So those goals are just helping me continue further continue with clearing out my debts and getting my body in to where it needs to be, not just where I want it and like for it to be, but where it needs to be. But ultimately, like just continuing going deeper with my mind and
Right.
being happy with self.
So, no, I did not know that about your health issues. I'm so glad that you're getting it looked at and not putting it off like other people.
It kind of started.
And that we're a very holistic family.
We are.
We always look for a holistic alternative before we turn to the
Western medicines.
Western medicines.
Yep.
That is one thing and that's one of the things that I love about my doctor because she knows me well enough. Well, she's been trained, but she knows me well enough that if there's something that we have to address, she is going to look for a holistic alternative before she even talks about some prescription or anything. Oh, speaking of health, I got taken off of the pre-diabetes list. I have been on the pre-diabetes list for 6 years, but I've been able to keep my A1C down with just by changing my eating habits. You know,
come on now.
Eating as cleanly as possible. It took me 10 years to do it.
Come on, auntie.
It took 10 years to do it, but yeah. And 1 year I knew it was bad because I had been eating a lot of fast food because work was extremely busy and I was just going. And when I knew it was time for me to go get my test, I was like, I said, I'm going to be in trouble. I already know I'm in trouble and I already know what I did. And she was like, "What did you do?" And I was like, "Well, I was eating a lot of fast food and stuff, which I don't normally do." And
It's just
so,
convenient when you're on go.
yes, it is. And so my A1C got up to a 5.9, but I have been keeping it at a 5.3 consistently. And so, but yeah, she took me off that and my blood pressure has come down a lot. So she took me off that as well. That was another high for this year. She was like, "We could take you off of this and we could take you off of that." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm telling you, I drink my cinnamon water with lemon. I started adding lemon to it. I take my cinnamon supplements. That has really helped with keeping my A1C down. And also, just eating, like I said, just eating as cleanly as possible. But yeah, we'll talk about we should do a show about that. I'll have to figure out when we can do that about the journey that I took to get all the junk out my diet.
We can share. We can all talk because, like you say, we all do. So we can all talk about the different things. Because Michelle has, I know John has, I have, you have. So we can all share the different things that we've done. And then I also spoke with. I follow a young lady by Body by Tall. She is hilarious, but she has a lot of video. I've been following her several years, but she always does videos about parasites. She's like bugged out about parasites and is a phobia, and she's really, really big on detoxing parasites. But her content is funny. It's hilarious. So
Oh,
she has
okay.
a huge following, and because of that, she started making natural products. And her products are amazing. Skincare products, herbal supplements, just all sorts of stuff. And it's her detox that I'm using, and it just so happened to have her number on it. And she said, I called her. She said I was the second person to call her, and she realized her and her mom, they were laughing that she actually gave out her real phone number, her personal number on that thing, and she had over 50,000 downloads, but only two people called her. So she said, I'm glad of that. She said, because I would have to change my number. But it just so happened that the people got the detox and they were happy with, the detox because she had so much information on it with the directions, the ingredients, how to go into it, how to come off of it. Nobody called her. I called because I wanted to know if she teach class. So in a holistic class, because a lot of her videos and the reasonings to behind why have some type of scientific she provides some type of scientific understanding, and that made me want and ask her, like, I like the way you approach your stuff. Would you mind teaching the class? And she said that other call was the exact same thing. And she said she was up that night before, and she said at 11:50 that night she was writing down different things that she was teaching. She was going through subtopics, and it was subtopics that I never even thought of. And I was like, oh, okay, good. I like that. Dang, I would you working. We always think about, oh, you got that, so let me show you how to fix that. She works in prevention, so that it's a life altering change lifestyle, and then should something happen, you know how to correct it or whatever, and then plus others, a lot of other stuff. But
Right.
that's the goal, is when she completes that, I'm going to take that class with her as well as a doula class, because Johnisha and I had a conversation about a venture that we would do as a family collectively, and I found two ladies that does the doula certification that I'm going to do at the top of the year.
Okay. So put the link, send me the link and I'll put it in the description
Mm-hmm.
for, and then anyone else who's interested in the detox and want to get in contact with her can do that.
Sure will.
Perfect. Auntie Janisha, have you worked on your goals for 2024?
Yes, the main one is to finish school because every month I quit.
You don't quit. You life just your life just
I
takes
just it just be
over.
a thought that I get to have, so I have it. That's what
Okay.
it is. I quit while I'm doing the assignment. And I have some other certifications that I'd like to achieve prior to me graduating, which, like I shared before, is in the spring. So there's about three. I want to do some reading and writing tutoring.
Okay.
And there's a business opportunity in that I have spoken again with Auntie Marva about because the which you also know about the doula too.
Yes.
Like all the family knows about that. But there's one in particular because Marva and I have a passion for writing. So we have this other little thing that's coming down and but the tutoring, I miss working with students. And people have horrible writing skills. And I came up with that two spaces. One is that my own writing has gone down. Not because I don't do enough of it, it's because I stopped kind of caring because I was the only one seeing it. But that's actually what jarred me because I started looking at some of my stuff like, ew, that's not me. So I want to come back, right? Just for
Mhm.
myself. And then the other is I was hearing a grandparent, 'cause, I'm a grandparent, so I listen to these forums now. And she was saying child saw her sign something and wanted to know what that was. A signature. And they had this whole conversation. And it was a realization to me that our young people, because of technology, and they're not really even being taught to, they may get printing, but not really cursive, right?
Right.
Can't sign a signature. You still need that. That's a skill. Come
Yes.
on, right? So I want to get into writing. I've been a reading tutor, but not a writing tutor. So I want to gain that skill, which I think I could do it now, but I want some formal how to's on that, right? So I can assist in that area. On my job, it was my secondary job, but like I said, I got fired from the one, but as spirit would have it, there was an ace in the hole. So my other job had these folks that really didn't care to work. We work with homeless people, and it's not that we don't like working with them, but it was that it's all night, right?
Mhm.
So everybody loathes it. I don't care to work all night either, but I really do enjoy my job. I've loved working with the people, even though many of them have just all the stuff that you can imagine why somebody might be homeless. It might be economics, but often from the population that we serve, it's some type of abuse, substance, or even physical. Someone's put out of their home. We have some pedophiles, even. There's just so many things. And I've seen families come through. So I get to still see the children. And I had an opportunity for a whole nother job with more pay, but I turned that job down after much consideration. And I decided to pitch, which made me feel really good because I still got it. I pitched to my current job. I will take you on full time, all those hours nobody wants. I'll take them if you let me volunteer. Now, who's not going to go for that, right?
No.
But what I told them is you have to use me. I'm not coming in here to fold towels or sheets or anything like that. I want all of the cases because I've been here a year and at that time it was a year and 3 months. I said, some of these folks can actually not have to be in this space. I hear them talking. Some of them don't care, but there are others who would like to get out. They just don't know what to do. And because this is not the facility for the assistance, they're seeing us every day. There's no reason why somebody should not be on staff to assist. And it is nonprofit, so they don't have anyone in the space. So me volunteering, of course, they jumped on that, right?
Right.
So I'm getting all of that extra experience, which assists with the degree that I'm seeking now, which is psychology. It's so because some of the jobs I was looking for after I got fired, well, even prior to me getting fired, I was just looking to see what was out there. It's for substance abuse, domestic abuse. It's for families. It's for juveniles. It's for just everything across the board that I did not have experience for. Now, when I graduate, I will have a bit of experience. So I'm doing this for free, but I'm gaining something great because I will be kind of a well-rounded with all of these different scenarios.
That is cool.
And there's that and that and that. I have to write these things down after you ask the question. Okay, so the wedding, and that's the most nerve-wracking. I didn't know it was so annoying. It's supposed to be exciting, but oh my gosh, that's why you hire somebody.
See, or
And
you take my route and you just sneak off with just you and him and your children, and you just have a secret private ceremony and you don't deal with any of that.
I hope my children never hear this particular show, but here's the first time that I've actually
Auntie
liked
Margaret.
someone enough to do something else. Liked somebody enough to do something. Because I've done what you just said, right? And I know you're being serious, and I was serious when I did it. But this is the first time I really want all of my people that mean the most to me to be there, to be present. And it's not for show because I don't want everybody there. I want the people that mean the most to me to be there. And what we are planning thus far is a cabin that will hold everybody. So it won't be a day's wedding with the reception. It will be a few days that we're all together. We play games as one joined family because this new thing about I'm not marrying your family, I'm marrying you. Neither of us see it that way. We are marrying each other and each other's family. He's big on family the way that we are. His family is the same. And we're thinking because we're 50 plus and not cutting our years short, but this may be the only time, especially they're from up north and we're from down south. This may be the only time we can get everybody in one space. So we want to spend some time. But that's the big thing. The big day scheduled for October 19th. Y'all can put that on your calendar already. There, I made that announcement.
For the
Herbalism.
whole podcast.
Huh?
For the whole podcast.
It's all right. They don't know the location. They can celebrate the day where they at. Um, the herbalism that the family's into, I I'm pretty sure I have the most herbs out of everybody, and I'm the one that's again. It's because this doggone job that I got. Marvel, what was your word? Not fired. What did you say? Terminate, whatever. That.
And
So the
and they were well, that's
Intimidated.
intimidated.
yeah, okay, we can say intimidated. I put so many things on hold and on the back burner. Herbalism is one of those, and I have so many things that I was learning and that I know. Some of the stuff is innate that it just comes to you. Like I know that's what I'm supposed to be doing, and again, not having that job now has opened me back up to the possibilities of why I'm here, what I'm supposed to be doing. So I've been studying again and I just want to share more about what I know and get specific on a few conditions that I've learned that really do affect our family. And two of those, one you already announced is diabetes and the other is heart conditions. Two include brokenheartedness because that's a real thing. I want to also kick up my efforts on farming because that has not gone anywhere because I do have live chickens, and as much as I have put certain things aside, when you have live animals, children, whatever it is, those things are staring you in the face and they're just you can't just put them on the shelf like we tend to do with other things. So my chickens have kept my farming efforts going, although the garden itself has gone by the wayside. Luckily, certain things continue to grow even when you're not present. Like a lot of the fruit stuff, we got lemons, we got stuff like that. Sweet potatoes, I'm still finding those out in the garden. They just certain things just handle themselves. But it's my last 5 chickens, my last 5 hens are keeping that part of my life going. So I want to kick that up. And I also want to create that or a similar space on my fiance's space as well, because he has property. His property is not too far from where ours is. So we kind of decided on a snowbird situation, even though it's not that far, it's just Georgia, Florida, but a summer home, which would be the Florida one, and our northern home, which is Georgia, and just back and forth because I still got to go and check on my grandma. And I still have my son and his daughters in our city. So, and my mom too, my dad too. So many
Right.
people in our city. So I'll
Yeah.
be doing a more travel next year, which I've already started doing. So I'm anticipating that and how to be structured and balanced and healthy as I start that new thing because it's very new traveling
Yeah.
back and forth between properties.
Okay. Well, my goal for 2024 is mainly to grow the podcast. That's one of my main goals, and to promote my travel business. Those are my two career goals that I have. As far as personal goals, I'm still working on getting my weight down for the doctors so that I could get my knee surgery. I'm just still gonna continue to work on that. So hopefully in 2024 we get new knees so we can get our life back, and we can get a car, because it broke my heart when I had to turn my car in. I, I had my dream car, my Honda CRV, and that was another low for this year, was when I had to turn in my car. It was the saddest day. But yeah, so let's go into Journey of Self Love. So get your index cards. This one is index card number 8, and this one is I am loved. So write I am loved on your cards and post them wherever you posted your other cards. So we're going to move into open topics. What do you think about the word obey and wedding vows? Auntie Marva?
I mean, some people don't like that term for whatever reason, but never really had an issue with that word because this is my second marriage. And even in the first marriage was very difficult. It was very stressful. But I made a decision to be in that marriage. And so in making that decision to be in that marriage, I had pretty much made up in my mind that I'm going to obey what is being said to me. Now, when it becomes a moment that obeying is now detrimental, or it's no longer good for you mentally or physically, like when it becomes harmful, then yes, then you have to say there's something needs to be done about that. But I don't know. I've noticed a lot of women. I think it's just that actual word. They don't like that word obey because a lot of them don't like being told what to do. If it makes sense. But I never
Mm-hmm.
had a. I don't. And I think the reason why I don't have an issue with that word is because of how we was raised. We had to do what Phyllis said. So it was just, eventually growing up, I just got over it and was like, well, got to do it. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Just do what I'm told. So it didn't really bother me. It wasn't, and even with like that, I guess that's just kind of just how, dealing with how people look at life. You know how y'all saying like being on people on a job. It's a decision. It's a mindset. I sat there and I realized, okay, I'm not independent anymore. I got to do what these people say. I'm going to do what these people say, and just do it. So I don't know. I've never really had an issue with that term, but I do see a lot of women on social media where they'll, nah, I ain't obeying nobody. Okay, well, maybe that's why you're still single. Because a lot of people don't like to compromise. It's really about compromise. As long as y'all can agree on what those rules are to obey, I don't see what the issue is.
Auntie Janisha?
My thing with obey is I see why there is a lot of pushback. It's because, and ladies, I'm going to say this. We have raised these sons to be these men that we're dealing with. Let's just say males. Back it up a little bit. To be these males that we're dealing with. Our mamas did that. And now we're doing the same because these young ladies are getting the same types. So let's just be clear on that. straight to the point. Obey to me comes with trust. So if you're with someone, and I've been there, that you don't feel you can trust, then no, you don't want to obey them. And as right, you shouldn't feel like you, because who wants to be commanded into a ditch, right? I'm with Auntie Mark in that I've really not had an issue with the word, because the relationships I've been in that were serious, they pretty much kind of followed my lead because they saw that I had a decent head on my shoulder. And but that's not something I wanted. I wanted someone that was stronger than me, that I could actually follow them and bring my, like, a traditional stuff, bring my gifts in, my everything to the table, whatever I believe I have, whatever they see in me, and add it to what they got going on. And then, yes, no problem with obeying, because I saw the strength in them. I saw the leadership in them. I saw and I trusted those things. So obey, not a problem. Again, it was something I desired. I didn't at all. But again, I do see why we as a society have a problem with that, because you look around and you don't feel that you can trust people to tell you to do something that's going to have such an impact on their life. But a point that Auntie Marva made again is about, why do you go to those people's workplace and you do that with them, but not with the person that you chose? You don't even try many times. What is that about? We do need to check ourselves on that. How is it that you're giving that much authority to somebody over there, but in your close personal situation, you're not even giving brother a chance like that? Because some of them want to do right. They need the chance though. And if you're cutting them off before we even get started, yeah, that's a hindrance on both sides. Hindering yourself, we're hindering ourselves. So yeah, it's not an issue for me.
See, when I think of the word obey, I think about, well, I barely obeyed my parental guide growing up because half of the things she wanted me to do, I just wasn't comfortable with. So I'm just like, I don't know how I would feel. I don't know if I would want that word in my wedding vow. And I mean, well, first off, I'm not going to have a traditional, when I do get married, I'm not having a traditional ceremony anyway. I'm having a hand fasting, so that's not even going to be an issue. But if I was to have a traditional, I would want to change the word obey to compromise, because obey has such a negative undertone with it. I think people will be more open to compromising than obeying. Because I agree with you what you guys were saying. But yeah, I'm not. I was just laughing because I was just like, you have to obey me. No, I don't. I didn't even obey my parental guide half the time. So what makes you think I'm gonna obey you? you know. I was just curious on what your take on it was. Oh, I just thought of something else. Would you stay in a relationship if you were growing and evolving and your partner was stagnant?
To me, it depends on in which areas they're staying stagnant. Like if it's something quote unquote toxic, that word that's always thrown around. And what's toxic for one person is not toxic for the next. It depends on that. If it's really not helpful, if it's just something that you don't like, But then the way that you're growing may not necessarily be something that they appreciate either. So who are you?
Right.
Because they're staying who they are, because they may be staying where you decided that with them, the compromise that y'all were going to be. Now you've changed. So what makes you better? You're not sticking to the agreement. So, I mean, you could look at it in that manner. I really think that it's between those two people. And just because one person is evolving, the other person might be where it's good. And you just need it to evolve to where you've decided that now you're better. You know what I mean? It just depends on the two people, to me.
Auntie Marva?
Oh, I answered first.
I didn't hear you. You were muted. so, So whatever you said, we did not hear it.
I'm over here talking. We can talk at the same time. What's happening?
No, no. I'm sorry. I think I'm allergic to curry, so that's why I've been digging in my eye this whole time.
Oh no, not
And
curry.
yeah, I just discovered it and I tested it this morning to see, and I think I am in fact allergic to curry, just to be safe, or something in the curry. But I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. So what was your answer?
Remember I was saying I don't have an issue with the term obey. It doesn't. I think people just don't like the actual word because of.
No, 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 not the obeying. No, my question was if you were growing and evolving and your
Oh, that
partner
part.
was
That part. Yeah.
stagnant. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. I don't think I would separate myself. Well, like Auntie Janisha said, it depends, right? We just can't be walking away from marriages just because, just all willy nilly because we done chose this is our partner. So it depends on what that thing is that the other one is trying to grow in, one, and then two, if that growth, once again, if it's harmful, then by all means. If it's harmful, then you have to. And when I say harmful, I'm not just saying just harmful as in. I'm not saying harmful as in just hurting my feelings. I'm meaning harmful as in to the detriment of my livelihood.
Right.
Then separate yourself from it. But if, let's say, you decide to go back to school and he hasn't, you decide to open a new business, she's not on board. I feel like those things are conversations that are meant to be had and that they could still be worked out, you know?
Right.
Oh, it just depends on how demanding it is on that other person that other person is needed. And if in fact that person is actually needed. Because sometimes we do things and we make decisions, and I'm just saying this because I've noticed of certain selfish reasons that I've done things in the past. Sometimes we do things and just automatically expect the other partner to jump on board, and the other partner be like, but that's not my thing. That's your thing. I support you, but that's not my thing. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Yes.
it just all depends on the demand from the other person, if it's necessary at all, or I don't know that like there's no real yes or no answer with that one because it could go so many ways.
Right.
What I do know though, what I do understand is that we definitely don't need to just be just I went back to school and he won't go back to school and I've been trying to get him to go back to school for 14 years and I'm sick of it. What? So you finna leave?
Right.
So you finna leave? Where you going? Yeah. The man worked the whole time you've been going to school. Like, chill.
Right.
Because those things happen. Like all of a sudden they've leveled up and now I'm beneath you, but not even really paying attention to the sacrifices that the partner was doing. The partner might just be happy in their job. Maybe they might not want to go back to school. They might want to see you thrive. And then, I'm just going to be a cheerleader back here. You just never know. So I think those are just conversations that need to be had.
Right. I think the only reason that would make me want to leave my partner is if they wasn't supportive of my growth and involvement and they were putting me down for it.
Right. So it harmful. Like
Yeah.
if it's harmful, if it becomes harmful, and then now there's envy and things of
Yes.
these natures going. Then yes, these are. But and
Yeah.
again, even within that though, some conversations could be had to probably
Yes.
hash those things out to even understand why all
Right.
of a sudden this is no longer a supportive environment. Maybe
Right.
some things that need to be said that he wants to say that maybe have been overlooked or whatever. I feel like a lot of that stuff, a lot of things can be checked when it comes to just typical old conversations. It's just a
Right.
conversation that needs to be had.
Right. And if he wasn't open to having the conversation and but it's not like if he's putting me down today because of it, and then I'm leaving him tomorrow. No, 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 no. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if it gets to a point to where it becomes, if that's our only conversation, it's just like, okay, we've had this conversation for like 2 years now, and I know how you feel, and so what, then we need to talk about maybe splitting up or whatever. Well, that's all I have for open topics. Do you guys have anything for open topics?
I did, because this is that season where folks get down in the dumps for a few reasons. Some of us are missing family and friends. Some because of economics. It's just the lights. There are a lot of lights, and it seems to illuminate things in our lives. So I wanted to give out the crisis prevention and crisis assistance lines. And this is I know we have, that was okay. So another highlight was the first time that you announced, Auntie D, that we had listeners in other countries. And I would hope that they have spaces that could assist them in these with these numbers as well, or people that they can talk to in their close circle. And that's for anybody. But the crisis line here in the U.S. is 988. You can just dial 988, 3 digits on your phone, and someone will be on the other end to talk to you. You do not have to go through whatever it is by yourself. With that being said, some of us have people right around us that are willing to listen, and we don't utilize them. Please don't sit and take the time that you need by yourself, but you don't have to go through something totally alone. Please utilize the people around you. Don't hold that stuff in. It's dangerous. And then another number that I found too is, these are volunteers, crisis counselors, but they're all volunteers. You can text the word home, HOME, to to 741741. So text the word home to these 6 digits. It's 741741. And that's also 24/7. So, and please, 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 people. I know it was mentioned that we grew up as Jehovah's Witnesses, so we kind of have a different outlook on spending all of your money and coming out on the other end wishing you hadn't. But so it's kind of, I would say, easier for me to encourage you to not do that. But I do get it. There's pressure, because when I was raising my children, I kind of fell into that. Some years, it wasn't every year that we celebrated Christmas, but a couple really, I just felt the need to go and do all this stuff. And then I went through all this stuff. Financially, it was a wreck trying to make things happen. And it's a very commercial time of year, although it's supposed to be a very family and wholesome time of year. It feels like a trap sometimes. So do what you really need to do, not what you are being pressured this culture to do. Please.
Exactly. And I'll put those numbers in the description. Will you text them to me, Auntie Jenny?
Yes. Okay.
So that we can have them, so we can provide them. We are at the end of another episode. I want to wish everyone a happy Christmas, a happy Hanukkah, a happy Kwanzaa, a happy whatever you celebrate, a happy New Year, and we look forward to seeing you all in the new year. I want to also thank all of our listeners that have supported us from the beginning, and all the new listeners that we're getting a daily basis. We're up to 139 now. I'm so excited. And we have gained more international listeners, and it's just been an exciting time. Be safe, and we will see everyone in the new year.
All right, everybody. Peace and love.